Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to create a SLA rule using a custom source. I've just taken a simple example. So my requirement is to derive a national account segment value of 2300 if the non-recoverable tax as an account greater than say 7,000. So whenever you create your AP invoice, you have two kinds of taxes. One is the recoverable tax and other one is the non-recoverable tax. So basically, non-recoverable tax is the tax whatever is generated in AP or whatever is charged in AP, which you can offset with your AR tax, whatever you need to pay to the government. If the if your tax is calculated in AP as a non-recoverable tax, so that means you cannot offset that with your AR tax. So this is based on your different taxation rules in the EB tax. So my requirement is if the national account segment value which is used in the non-recoverable tax line in an AP invoice has a value which is greater than 7,000, then through my SLA rules using a custom source, I am defaulting it to a national account segment value of 2300. If the non-recoverable tax has an account less than 7,000, then my SLA rule will not work, and then the existing value, whatever is there in the non-recoverable tax as part of your AP invoice line distribution, the same will flow to SLA. So the requirement is the non-recoverable tax should have a value which is greater than 7,000. So in general, in the case of non-recoverable tax, so whatever the segment value, what to enter in your charge account or your expense line of AP invoice distribution, the same will be defaulted to your the non-recoverable tax. Okay, so now I'll explain this with an example in e-business suite. So before creating any custom SLA rule, first I'll create an AP invoice and run create accounting, and I'll show you how system behaves, and then I'll create a custom SLA rule, associate that custom SLA rule to the ledger, and then I'll show you how the system behaves. So log into payables vision operations, create a simple invoice, AP invoice, invoices. What happened? Okay, so create a simple invoice, pick up a vendor, state today's date, invoice number, say ARV 1000, invoice amount, say 50,000. Line amount 50,000, and then click on distributions, 50,000. So this will be maybe telephone expenses. Click on OK, save this, validate the invoice. Okay, I have some distribution variance, so 53,000. So 3,000 is the tax which has system has calculated. So let me just increase this to 53,000 invoice amount. Revalidate the invoice. Okay, now go to the distributions. Sorry. So here you can see for 50,000 invoice line amount, 3,000 is the non-recoverable tax which system has calculated. So you can see for the non-recoverable tax, the national account segment value, which is segment 3 here, 7450, which is copied from your charge account. So whatever is the natural account segment value which we have used in our charge line or expense line, the same will get copied to your non-recoverable tax line. So now if you go to create accounting, you should be able to see the same, but let us try actions. Create accounting. I'll just go for a draft so that I want to use the same invoice after creating of my SLA rule. Okay, accounting has been successfully created. So let me show you the current accounting without any SLA rule changes. Okay, so here you can see your item expense got debited, your non-recoverable tax got debited, and your liability account got credited. So as far as the non-recoverable tax line is concerned, you can see the same natural account segment value of 7450 for and it shows the same telephone expenses. So but so remember, my requirement now is to default the non-recoverable tax line account to 2300 if the national account used in your charge line is greater than 7,000. So in this case it is greater than 7,000. So now my after my SLA rule, if I come back to the same invoice and run create accounting, I should be able to see a value of 2300 here. Okay, now let us see how we can do that. Okay, so the first thing is we need to understand what exactly the subledger accounting method which is associated to your ledger. So here I'm using payable vision operations. So my ledger is vision operations USA. So I'll get into the vision operations USA ledger and find out what exactly is my existing subledger accounting method. So pick up that subledger accounting method, copy that, create a new custom version, and then start with your SLA rules. So go to your general ledger responsibility, setup, financials, accounting setup manager, accounting setups, pick up your ledger, vision operations, okay. Standard accrual is the subledger accounting method. So this is the Oracle seeded subledger accounting method. What I will do is I'll now get into the SLA responsibility, which is your SLA super user. Copy this subledger accounting method and start creating my custom rules there. So subledger accounting setups, accounting method builder, methods and definitions, subledger accounting methods. So this is the standard subledger accounting method. So click on copy, create your custom versions. I'll call it as a ARV subledger accounting method, and I'll give the accounting flex field. So if you do not enter accounting flex field, there are some practical challenges which you face. So better enter your accounting flex chart of accounts, which is operations accounting flex field in my case. Okay, so this is the custom subledger accounting method. Now I can assign. Okay, now I cannot assign as of now. I can assign this only after I complete my all SLA rules. Okay, so this is my custom subledger accounting method. Now within the custom subledger accounting method, as I have copied the standard subledger accounting method, you can see application accounting definitions of all the modules or all the applications are copied as is. Now my requirement is to customize my AP SLA rule. So this is my application accounting definition associated with my AP. So I need to customize this. So copy this. For the time being, close this form. Go to the application accounting definition. Payables, This is the standard application accounting definition. Copy this. You can call it as ARV underscore AP underscore accrual. So always in the case of a definition code, ensure that you do not leave any spaces. Just use maybe underscore or do not use any spaces. ARV name, that's fine. AP ARV AP accrual. Accounting chart of accounts is operations. So this is my custom application accounting definition. Now go back to your subledger accounting method. ARV slam, and then associate your custom application accounting definition, which is ARV. Save this. Okay. Now start making the changes in your application accounting definition. Okay. So now my requirement is, if the invoice has the non-recoverable tax line of greater than 7,000, then your national account to be defaulted to 2300. So that's only for invoice. If you have similar requirement for credit memo and debit memo, then you need to repeat whatever the steps which I'll be doing for other event classes as well. Now my requirement is only for invoices. You put your cursor in invoices, and again this is the so if you look at the hierarchy, subledger accounting method, under subledger accounting method you have application accounting definition. Under that event classes, you have journal line definition. So now I want to customize this. So your customization should be at a lowest level. So start customizing all the levels. So this is the event class. Under event class, I have the standards journal line definition. Now open the journal line definition. Click on copy definition. You can just say ARV underscore JLD. ARV underscore JLD. JLD journal line definition. And then accounting is operations accounting. Okay. Save this. Now, go back to your previous screen. Get rid of the standard subledger journal line definition and associate your custom JLD. Save this. Go to now your journal line definition. Your requirement is to customize your non-recoverable tax journal line type. Okay, so this is your standard non-recoverable tax JLT, which is journal line type. So click on line type. Copy this. You can call it as ARV JLT. ARV JLT. So you need not enter a transaction chart of accounts. We are interested only in operations chart of accounts. So, sorry, accounting chart of account. So click on done. Copy this name. Go back to your previous screen. Uncheck this, which is inactivating this. I mean, other option is you can even delete that, but I just want to inactivate that and create my custom non-recoverable tax line. So copy the same line description. Save this. So before you try to customize this lowest level of journal line type, just copy whatever is there in the standard one. So you have copied the line description, you have copied the line type, and also in your non-recoverable tax, you have the all segments and invoice distribution account. Just copy the same thing. All segments. So now this ARV JLT is exactly a replica of my standard. Now, based on our requirement, we need to see what we need to make changes to this SLA. So now our requirement is to derive a different national account segment value, which is derive a different segment 3, which is national account segment value based on our certain conditions. So that is actually made in something called account derivation rule. So click on account derivation rule. Try to start creating a new account derivation rule. payables. So you can just say ARV, sorry, ADR for non-recoverable tax, ARV, ADR for non-recoverable tax. Enter your accounting chart of accounts is operations segment account. So constant. Go back to your requirement. So derive an national account of 2300 if non-recoverable tax has a greater than 7000. So my target account is 2300. Save this. Now go to conditions. My conditions is if my invoice under non-recoverable tax. So we are already under non-recoverable tax. I mean, ultimately this ADR will be associated with non-recoverable tax. So if the non-recoverable tax distribution account is okay, what kind of segment is that national account? Okay, is greater than or equal to is greater than or you can say greater than or equal to or just greater than 7000. You can just say greater than 7000, then I want this to 2300 to be defaulted. So you can just say, okay, now if you want to say greater than 7000, if you click on the value tab, I have only something called source. I do not have in the drop down a constant. If there is a constant, I can just specify greater than constant 7000. So that means the rule will be something like if my non-recoverable tax line has an invoice distribution account greater than 7000, 2000, 2300 is the value which will be a target value or which will be the default value which your SLA rule will use. But now I do not have a value type of constant. I have only value type of source. So that means now I need to go for your custom source. So now if I click on drop down, I have only something called source. So I need to go for custom source. And in the drop down, only once my custom source is defined, that custom source value will come in the drop down. Okay. Now get rid of this, delete this, make a note of your custom SLA rule, custom SLA ADR, which is ARV ADR, okay, and then come back to this particular screen after your custom source is created. Now let's see how you need to define your custom source. Close all your forms, subledger accounting setups, accounting method builder, sources, uh, custom source. So if you look at the custom source, okay, you have something called your application name, custom source code name, custom source name, PLSQL function, and then other fields like this particular PLSQL function is a function which you have created in your backend. So let me go with the new custom source with the name ARV AP, any naming convention. I'll just say non-recoverable tax. Custom source code ARV AP non-recoverable tax. Maybe I want to create my PLSQL function with this name. Okay, now go to your Toad or your SQL developer, whatever you want to use. So this is a simple function which I'm creating now. If you look at this function, create a replace function wherein I'm sorry, bear with me, I have a bad cough today. Okay, wherein I'm declaring a variable with varchar and another variable with varchar. I'm associating this particular variable to this particular value. Of course, sorry, I'm not too technical, so I just got this particular script from my technical consultant. So I'm using the same script here. So if you want to copy this particular script, just pause the video for a while, just look at this particular script. But otherwise, this particular script is just creating a function wherein uh, we have defined one particular variable as a placeholder to hold some value. Okay, so now let me execute this function. I can see function is created. So I'll be using this particular function name in my custom source. Sorry. Data type is alphanumeric, segment is national account segment 1, constants character. My requirement is if my national account segment value of your non-refundable tax is greater than 7,000. So save this. Okay. So we are creating this particular function wherein a variable can hold a value of 7,000, and now use this particular custom source in your SLA rule. Go back to your account derivation rule. Go to conditions. Invoice distribution account. National account segment operator is greater than. Now you should be able to see in the value type source, and now in the drop down you should be able to see the custom source whatever I have created. Save this. Okay, now go back to your SLA rule and then associate this particular SLA rule or this ADR to your non-recoverable tax general line type. So if you read this properly, for a non-recoverable tax general line type, we are associating this particular ADR, which says that if my invoice distribution account of that non-recoverable tax line is greater than a source, so that means it's greater than 7,000. In the source we have defined 7,000. Then your target account should be 23. Okay, copy this. Go back to your application accounting definition. For starters, it would be a kind of bit what do you call difficult to digest everything, but you need to go through the same video a couple of times so that you understand all the steps. Okay, so this is my custom application accounting definition. Under custom application accounting definition, under an event class of invoices, you have this custom JLD. Go to your JLD. Within the JLD, I have my custom JLT. Within my custom JLT, this is the standard ADR. Now associate my custom ADR for the segment account. So in the drop down, select this, save this. Okay, so now if you read this, for my non-recoverable tax JLT, all segments will be the standard segments from the standard SLA rule. Only for the national account segment or account segment, this is my custom ADR, which system uses based on this conditions. Okay, so now I have done creation of the custom SLA rule, and now the last step is to run the a program called validate application accounting definition. So validate application accounting definition is going to validate the SLA rules whatever you have created. and ensure that this particular compile status, no, just say payables. What is your application accounting definition? My application accounting definition is ARV. So ensure that this particular program is completed successfully. If this particular program completes in warning, then look into the view or output output or log file, and then based on the error message, you need to take an appropriate action, make the required changes in the SLA rules, and then again come back to this particular same screen and rerun the validate application accounting definition. It is very important that your validate application accounting definition should have been completed successfully. Otherwise, your SLA rules will not work. And once this validate application accounting definition program is completed, you can now associate your custom subledger accounting method to your ledger, and then go back to your payables invoice workbench, pick up the same invoice, whatever we have created earlier, and run the create accounting maybe in a draft mode to see the impact of the SLA. Okay, now it's completed successfully. So as it is completed normal, so you need not check the output. Now you can go back to your payables responsibility, pick up the same invoice, whatever I have created earlier, invoices, search for that. I think this is the one here. This is the one with 53,000 here. Now click on actions, create accounting, again draft, click on OK. Accounting has been successfully created for this transaction. Now go to actions, reports, view accounting. Now check the accounting entry. So, okay, I can still see that. Okay, so this was the previous one, and this is the current one. I can still see it is going to 7450. Okay, now let us see what is our problem. Why it's still going to 74,500? Why it is not going to 2300? Okay. Oh, sorry. I think the reason is like I have not associated this new slam to my ledger. Yeah, it is ledger is still showing standard accrual, so we need to associate your new slam. Finish. Let us try again once again. Actions, create accounting, draft. Check now. Okay, now you can see non-recoverable tax has 2300. Earlier it was 7450. Whatever the national account segment value which is there for the charge account or your item expense account, the same was copied to your non-recoverable tax line. But now you can see for my non-recoverable tax line, I can see 2300 because my national account segment value of your charge line is greater than 7,000. Now for the same invoice, as it is as the create accounting is run in a draft mode, let me see if I can change the uh, account to something else less than 7,000. Oh, okay, it's already grayed out. Okay, now let me try to create another invoice with an account less than 7,000 and show you like if it is greater than 7,000, it takes you to 2300, and if it's less than 7,000, our SLA rule should not work, and it should be whatever the account, whatever is there in the invoice line distribution, the same should flow to SLA. Okay, I'll try to create a one more invoice. Just do a shift F6. We should copy everything and then just change the invoice number to 1001. maybe pick up some other expense which is less than 7,000. Mm, maybe I'll just take sales expense. Save this. Actions, validate. Okay. So again, even for this invoice, now I have the non-recoverable tax of 3,000. Okay, 5221. So 5221 is the account for item expense line. The same is defaulted to your non-recoverable tax line. Now let us run the create accounting, and in the create accounting, I should not be able to see any change. Okay, accounting has been successfully created. Okay, here you can see 5221 is for the item expense account, and the same 5221 is defaulted to your non-recoverable tax line. So even though my SLA rule is already associated, my customer SLA rule is already associated to my ledger, but still I do not see the default account whatever I've mentioned in my SLA rule, that is 2300 for this particular non-recoverable tax line. The reason being, this is a scenario wherein my condition says that if the national account segment value of your invoice line distribution is greater than 7,000, then only default it to 2300. If it is less than 7,000, it will not do anything. So whatever is there in your invoice line distribution, the same got copied to your non-recoverable tax line. This is the existing standard function. There's nothing to do with your SL. Okay. So this is how you customize your SLA rule using your custom source. So I have just taken this as an example, but there are a lot of different scenarios which you may have, uh, and in order to meet those requirements, you can use your custom source. So if the standard SLA rules are not allowing to meet your requirement, then you can go for your custom source. I mean, if you ask me, custom source is basically within your custom source, you write your SQL code. So pretty much like you should be able to meet any kind of a business requirement to derive a particular national account based on different conditions, because you can handle everything in your SQL code. So that's the beauty of your custom source. Thank you. Thanks for watching my video for interesting videos on Oracle Financials. Please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.